Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group representing a case study on the cane sardine worm contamination incident in Malaysia. As we know, cane sardine are popular processed food because they are affordable, convenient, and also have a long shelf life. However, food safety concern arose when a parasite worm known as Anisakis species were detected in imported cane sardine products. This incident led to product recalls and raised public concern about the safety of canned food products. This case also highlights the importance of proper food processing, strict quality control, and continuous regulatory monitoring to ensure consumer safety and maintain public confidence in food products.
Next, I will talk about two important food safety incidents in Malaysia involving imported canned fish, which raised serious concerns among consumers and authorities. The first case is known as the Ranisa case in May 2018. On the 14th of May, the Malaysian Quarantine and Inspection Service or MAQIS seized two containers at the North Butterworth Container Terminal in Penang. The products involved were canned mackerel in tomato sauce under the Ranisa brand. The total quantity seized was 36,720 kilograms, an estimate value of 199,797 ringgit and 24 cents. During inspection, worms identified as Anisakis spp were detected in the products. This type of parasite is known to cause a disease called anisakiasis, which can affect the human digestive system if contaminated seafood is consumed. As a result, the goods were immediately confiscated and further investigation was carried out under the MAQIS Act 2011, specifically Section 14, which relates to importation control and compliance. The case gained significant public attention, especially after it went viral in the media, leading to increased concern about the safety of imported canned fish products. The second case occurred shortly after in June 2018 and is referred to as the Sick Brand case. Between the 28th and 29th of June, the Ministry of Health Malaysia confirmed contamination involving 6 different brands of canned fish products. These include brand Cinta, Sea Fresh, HS Brand, King Cup, Bintang, and TC Boy. Similar worms, Anisakis spp, were also found. Auto reported that the products were still considered unsafe and were recalled immediately from the market. In response, authorities also strengthened import control measures by implementing the hold, test, and release policy at all entry points. This means that imported food products must be tested for safety and only released if they meet required standards. Legally, the case was linked to the Food Act 1983 under Section 13, which provides penalties of up to 100,000 ringgit fines or imprisonment of up to 10 years for offences related to unsafe food distribution.
Building on the previous case from 2018, I'm going to share a more recent case that happened in 2024 involving contaminated canned sardine imported from China via Singapore. First, this incident occurred on 25 April 2024. MAQIS detected contaminated sardine at Bangunan Sultan Iskandar, Johor Bahru. Next, looking at the quantity involved, the shipment was quite large, weighing about 16,320 kilograms and worth approximately 84,000 ringgit. This shows that it was a large-scale import consignment. Moving on to the violation, the sardines were imported without a valid import permit. In other words, the importer failed to comply with the legal requirements before bringing the products into Malaysia. As for the contamination detected, laboratory testing found the presence of Anisakis sp, which is a parasitic worm commonly found in seafood. Now, let's look at the health risk. This parasite can cause a disease known as anisakiasis. People infected with this parasite may experience symptoms such as abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Following the discovery, action was immediately taken by the authorities. The shipment was seized and samples were sent for laboratory testing to confirm the contamination. From a legal perspective, this offence falls under Section 14 of the Markets Act 2011. If convicted, the offender may face a fine of up to 100,000 ringgit, imprisonment of up to 6 years or both. In conclusion, this case highlights the importance of strict inspection and enforcement at Malaysia's borders. Even processed food such as canned sardine must undergo proper inspection to ensure food safety and protect public health.
I will present the principle of food processing in the canned sardine worm contamination case in Malaysia. Firstly, receiving of raw fish. This is the most important stage because the safety of the final product depends on the quality of the raw fish. Sardine naturally act as intermediate host for anisakis SPP, meaning the biological hazard may already be present before processing begin. Therefore, under hazard system, hazard analysis start at this stage by identifying both microbial and parasitic hazard. The Malaysian contamination case showed that manufacturer should strengthen supplier control, raw material inspection and parasite monitoring to prevent contaminated fish from entering the production line. Next is the preparation stage where the fish is beheaded, cut, cooked and filled into the cans. During this stage, contamination may occur from raw material, water, equipment or food handler. Therefore, good manufacturing practice (GMP) and proper hygiene are essential to minimize contamination throughout the process. And then the third principle is proper can seaming. Double seaming creates an airtight seal and is considered a critical control point because defective seams may allow microorganisms to enter the cans after sterilization. Although seam defect were not the cause of the Malaysian anisakis case, but proper sealing remains essential to maintain commercial sterility and prevent spoilage. The next process is proper thermal processing, where the cans are sterilized at approximately 115 to 122.5 degrees Celsius. This destroys microorganisms and kills the anisakis larvae. However, the Malaysian case showed that although the larvae are no longer alive, but they may still remain visible in the canned product, and some anisakis allergenic protein are heat stable. Therefore, food safety cannot rely on sterilization alone, but must begin with effective raw material inspection and hazard prevention from the very beginning. And then after sterilization, the cans undergo proper cooling and drying to prevent thermophilic spoilage, maintain commercial sterility and preserve product quality during storage. Finally, before packaging and shipment, inspection and verification are carried out to detect defective products. In the context of the Malaysian contamination cases, stronger final inspection is important to ensure products containing visible anisakis larvae are identified before reaching consumer. Overall, these processing principles work together with hazard system through hazard analysis, critical control point, monitoring and verification. The Malaysian sardine contamination cases clearly demonstrate that food safety cannot depend on thermal processing alone. Instead, strict raw material inspection, contamination control, proper processing and effective verification are all necessary to ensure safe, high-quality canned sardine are ready to reach the consumer.
Next, I will explain the concept of manufacturing in food science. I will explain several important concepts in food manufacturing and how they relate to canned sardine worm contamination case in Malaysia. Firstly is quality assurance. Ensure that food product consistently meet safety quality standard. In the canned sardine case, effective QA procedures could help prevent contaminated raw fish from entering the production process. Secondly, hazard analysis and critical control point, which is HACCP. Identifying potential hazard and establish critical control points during production. For canned sardines, HACCP is important for detecting biological hazards such as anisakis worm and ensuring that appropriate control measures are implemented. Thirdly, which is good manufacturing practice, which is GMP. Focus on maintaining hygiene, cleanliness, and also proper handling procedures throughout the manufacturing process. Following GMP helps reduce the risk of contamination and ensure that canned sardines are processed safely. Next is regulatory compliance required manufacturing to comply with the food safety regulation that's set by Ministry of Health. In response to the sardine contamination incidents, regulatory authorities conducted inspections and product recalls to protect the consumer. And lastly, quality control, which is QC, that involve testing and monitoring products during and after production. For example, regular inspection of canned sardine can help detect defects, contamination, and processing failure before the product reach to the market. In conclusion, the canned sardine contamination case demonstrates the importance of QA, HACCP, GMP, regulatory compliance, and also QC in ensuring food safety and preventing contamination in processed food products.
Based on the canned sardine worm contamination case in Malaysia, several recommendations can help prevent similar incidents in the future. First, from the manufacturer's perspective, factories should strengthen their canning and sterilization processes to ensure parasites are completely eliminated. They should also implement strict quality assurance and quality control system and maintain proper batch traceability so that contaminated products can be identified and recalled quickly. Next, from the government agency's perspective, authorities should strengthen border inspections for imported food products and enhance routine laboratory testing and monitoring for earlier detection of contamination. In addition, stricter enforcement of HACCP compliance and heavier penalties for non-compliance can help improve food safety standards. Finally, from the consumer's perspective, consumers should purchase certified halal sardine products from trusted manufacturers, check product labels and expiry dates, and report any suspicious product to the relevant authorities. In conclusion, food safety is a shared responsibility between manufacturers, government agencies, and consumers. Through continuous cooperation and strict food safety practices, the risk of contamination can be significantly reduced, ensuring that canned sardine products remain safe for consumption.
In conclusion, the sardine worm contamination cases in 2018 and 2024 highlight weakness in food safety management. Failures in the canning and sterilization process allow anisakis SPP worms to remain in the products. In addition, weakness in import control and monitoring exposed consumer to unsafe food products. This incident affected public trust, causing fear and concern among consumers. Therefore, these cases emphasize the importance of strict food safety system and effective regulatory enforcement to protect public health.